Hello, and a pleasant Monday to you wherever you may be. I'm Jonathan Duvall. I'm on the Roku Developer Relations team, and today we're going to be talking about JWT-secured push notifications. In just a few minutes, Gijo Jose, a senior partner engineer here at Roku, is going to explain how you can use Roku Pay push notifications to manage entitlements, explain the differences between JWT-secured and non-authenticated messages, and review the workflow for implementing JWT secured push notifications in your system. Chicho will then do a live demo showing how you can use JavaScript to integrate JWT secured push notifications into your system. After Gijo is done, we're going to do a live Q&A session where Gijo and I will try to answer all your questions, which you can submit, as always, in Slido. The Slido link for this webinar is goroku.com rpay-jwt-webinar-QA. The link to the Slido is in the webinar registration form and in the Zoom chat. It's also in the Roku developer blog post. Once you ask a question, your fellow attendees will upvote or downvote it, which will then help determine whether it gets read on air. Please be aware that while we'll not comment on our roadmap or make any other forward-facing commitments during the Q&A, we always welcome requests and other suggestions around what would make Roku Pay push notifications better. If you have to leave early or you want to share this session, as always, we're going to post a recording of it on the Roku Developers YouTube channel, the Roku Developers video portal, and the Roku Developers channel. So, without further ado, let's get started. Gijo Jose, everyone.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. My name is Jijo, and I'm a senior partner engineer with Roku. We are going to talk about Roku Pay and the push notification features today. We will quickly go over what is Roku Pay and how we can use a notification feature on the Roku Pay and how we can secure our notification using JWT. And how you can effectively leverage the test features which we have with Roku Pay, and how you can effectively use the replay feature which we have with Roku Pay push notifications. So let's start. I have already used multiple times Roku Pay. So what is Roku Pay? Roku Pay is Roku's subscription management platform. That means we share the responsibility with you for managing your subscriptions and collecting the payment, processing it, and manage method of payments, right? Like the collection, and reduce the friction of how you manage subscriptions. How it is beneficial for customer, a single window for you. Customers can manage all their subscriptions with the multiple streaming services, just one place with Roku, myroku.com. They don't have to go multiple places. They don't have to do multiple method of payment entries in different systems. Instead, just do it in one place. And Roku will take care of those collection for each services, and also manage the taxes and everything. So it's easy for customer and easy for partners to manage their subscriptions. So how it works is beyond the topic for us right now, but as a tip, what we do is when we allow partners to interface with Roku Pay and do their order processing, and once they finish their order, we will notify the RPay backend, and backend will have a notification sent to partners as an acknowledgement how to handle those subscriptions. And then you as a partner or a developer is responsible to manage your content entitlement using that subscription credits. So This involves, as when we go through the flow, this involves multiple moving pieces, right? Like, you have your order, that which is coming from the device, and when the device places the order, there will be a processing system payment backend, that which completes the order and send an acknowledgement back to uh, customer and also to the partner. So this workflow happens in the background. When it happens, as a partner or a developer, you have all the rights to know what happened with the order flow, which you placed. It is not a good practice to always poll for receiving some status. So we enable push notifications for that real-time communication. So as soon as user place an order, that which we call as purchase, or another event like cancellations, refunds, credits, renewals happens, any of these events, any milestone that can happen through your subscriptions or customer subscriptions, partner will get notified through the push notifications. So that's what Roku Pay and push notifications are, how work together. Now, when the notification comes through, you probably want it to in a secure way. We don't want that to be in an open way, that which we need to have a secure protocol required between partner endpoint and Roku. That's where we had JWT or we have JWT implementation come into play. The V1 of push notification, some of you might be very familiar with it. A lot of our partners are already integrated with push notification. So you might be familiar with the V1 version of the push notification, that which is open text, and you would be receiving a JSON. The major security over that protocol is only SSL. You have an SSL endpoint, and also you probably would be able to use IP whitelisting if you have that ability, that which you can whitelist incoming IP addresses. You probably would be using that feature as well. But that security was when we reviewed and looked through, we wanted to add additional security on this delivery of push notifications. That's where we introduced JWT, and eventually we like all of you guys to be on JWT security, JWT secure push notifications rather than normal push notifications which you receive. So now let's talk about JWT. You probably are all aware about JWT, and there are three major elements that which we includes in JWT token, that which is your header and body, or we call as payload, and signature. How JWT can help on secure these messages, right? So we already talked about how we are enabling the security feature using JWT. Now, you may have that question, that how JWT can secure it. So the first way or the advantage of using a JWT token is data integrity, and the second advantage for that is compact payload size, because we can encode it, and so that way you will have a reduced compact payload that which you would be receiving. And obviously it's stateless, so you will get all your data in one chunk immediately. So Data integrity is the major point that which we wanted to highlight here. You probably have wanted to know who is sending you this message, right? When we have open JSON, and if someone who has your endpoint, probably they would be able to send you notification, and we have no mechanism to check for the signature, right? Like, who is sending it. So JWT add that feature. When you decode your message, you can check your security, you can check your signature, and using that, you would be able to check who signed this payload. Using uh, that signature, you would know if it is receiving genuinely from, or if it's a genuine Roku Pay notification or not. So now that's where the JWT components are going to help us. So you'll have a JSON header and JWT claims and JWT signature as 3 elements. So first, you will have your KID embedded in your header. So you can check your key value, which we are going, which is the uh, public is the key that which has used to sign this notification, and using that key you would be able to validate the signature as the or the second component that which you look, and then you can extract the payload and check for the claims. So Roku uses normally 3 registered claims: issue, expiration, and not before. So those are the 3 registered claims that which you would be able to see. And there comes the actual custom private claims, that which is Roku's message and encoding type, key, and the message type. We will talk a little bit more about those elements later, and especially on our demo, we will go over each element. And here comes the workflow for JWT secure push notification. So how do we expect, or what is the flow that which we expect to happen? So customer, that when they place their sale, or when they issue a cancellation, we expect that partner send that order to Roku Pay, and we compose, or we process those event, and then we compose the event and the transaction, not really full transaction. We will have the event details wrapped inside the JWT and publish it to your endpoint. We will go over how you do the endpoint configuration later. And then once you receive the notification with the token, you come back and grab the public key from us and re-verify the signature who signed that payload or the token. Once you have that, if you are comfortable with the signature, and after your validation, if everything looks good, you will pick up the payload and process the message that which you received inside the container. Now, let's go. Yeah, and the KID that which we talked about before, that you have to use a URL that which we have from our documentation, and that comes through our CDN, and you need to grab that public key from our CDN using that URL. We will have more details of that, and I'll run through it when we run our demo. And here we are on our sample app. Yeah, this is a sample application that which is available on Roku website, written on Java. And so if you are familiar and a fan of Java, feel free to download that and use that as a reference for your partner side implementation. It has a great flow that which you would be able to use on the partner side for verification and extracting the payload. Now, we are getting into the interesting part of testing the push notification. So anything that which you need to implement, right? If you are new to onboarding the Java push notification, or if you are an already onboarded partner who is moving to more secure way as to JWT push notification, either way you have to test it. If it was correct, if you are managing the private claims that which you are receiving, you might be you probably would be able to test basic JWT implementation using any JWT tokens that which you can wrap. But if you have to specifically test Roku push notifications, it's better to use Roku's test endpoint that which is available on our dashboard. And if you go to our dashboard and go to the web services section, you would be able to find a secure a test endpoint section that which you would be able to configure your endpoint, that which a lot of the time you can create a webhook that which can receive any message from any message from anyone, right? It can be an HTTP endpoint that which you can create, and you can test it on configuring it on our dashboard. So if you go through the web services section and look for the push notification test push notification URL section, that's where you can configure it. Again, that you would be able to directly send push notifications to your endpoint from that utility. We will have that in our demo as well. Now let's get to so if you are a partner who is already on open implementation of push notification and migrating to new JWT endpoint, then you might be seeing this message when you come to the web services endpoint. You might see your authentication type is none right now, and you have to click on the convert to JWT, and that's how you start your migration endpoint. But before you do that, you have to make sure that which you test your implementation on a QA account, any account that which you create right now after January 2022 will automatically enable to JWT. You will not be able to go back, or there is no feature available for an open push notification anymore on Roku side. So if you create an account, if you're creating a QA account, or if you are a new developer who is onboarding with Roku Pay, you will not have that old feature. So we would strongly recommend, if you are a partner who is moving to JWT, please make sure you test it using this test feature on another developer account which you create, and validate your endpoint before you enable it on your production endpoint. The reason for that, if you once enable it on your production environment, there is no go back. We will not be able to send you back into your old protocol. So make sure you test your endpoint thoroughly before you enable it to your production. So this slide will, if you go to your web services, you would be able to see, like, how to enter a push notification URL to your production, and make sure you have that and save it. make sure you save it. There is if you enter your notification, we used to get some, like, comments from developers that which I try to enter it there and I'm not receiving the push notification. So make sure you click save changes on both places if you are using the test endpoint. So save changes is mandatory, and click save changes, please. And we are almost on the final slide, which it's how you can use the push notification replay feature. So we are all developers. Sometimes systems can go down. Sometimes there could be accumulated messages or queued up messages that which create problem on the partner endpoint, that which they may not be able to receive notifications. So if you realize if you are not receiving notifications on a regular pattern based on the usage volume of your subscriptions, please watch out what's going on. And if you realize you were not receiving notifications, once you fix your endpoint, or if there are any other issues, once you fix your endpoint, after you clear all of that, you can come back to our web services section and look for the replay feature which is available, and you would be able to resend all the notifications that which you have missed. Let's say if you had a downtime for 3 days, then please go back and send that 3 days notifications, so that which your backend and your CRM would be able to process it effectively. Yeah, and that's end of the talking. Let's get to action. Let me share my screen and start talk a little bit more about what we have went through the slides. Let me share my screen. All right, so let's start the demo. So as I said before, we have a Java version of sample code available on Roku. What which I am going to demo here is a smaller and lighter version of validate routine that which any JavaScript lovers can use, JavaScript and Node.js. If you're an open source lover, yeah, you would be able to easily use this. This is all in JavaScript. And we will go through more about the code after I load the demo. So let's go to the dashboard first. So I am already logged into my dashboard and JavaScript. Sorry, I'm getting to JavaScript. So I'm already logged into my account and on my web services section. If you log in and come to web services section, this is what you would be seeing. Enter your test endpoint. This is for your test endpoint. You can enter your endpoint here and make sure you have an end date set here. If you don't have an end date, you may not receive a notification, a test notification. So end date is very crucial. And if you set an end date, and if you forget this, then sorry, if it is in the past, you will not receive a notification. So make sure you have an end date with end date or in the future. So I do have here as 9, so I'll set it for a future date. Okay. Save changes. Changes saved. And you do have your push notification for your production here. So you can configure it there, save changes. You need to remember or the most important thing, if you use this test feature and if you are sending a notification, you will be receiving that notification onto your production endpoint and your test endpoint. So make sure your your production endpoint, if you are using a production endpoint, make sure your production endpoint is capable to receive JWT notification. You have that feature built. If you enter a production endpoint before you are ready to receive it in the production, you are going to receive errors there. So make sure you are ready with your production before you enter your production endpoint. So now let me, just for demo purpose, let me send a push notification. So I am setting a message type as anything that you want. So let me just put Roku demo. And you can have payload of any type. Like the only thing is, if you, whatever the protocol that which you set here, or whatever the data type that which you set here, when you parse it, you need to make sure you are using a parser that which can handle it. So here, let's say I'm just entering as test Roku demo message. This is a pure text that which I'm sending. I'm sending this send test message. It's sent. So I have the receiver created and all those are there. I'm going to receive, and this is just any server. You can create a Lambda service and create an endpoint, or you can use a webhook to create an endpoint. It doesn't matter where we do. All right, so I received my token. Let me just copy my token and run the routine. Okay, since we send us a test message, I am going to select 2 as my test environment, paste the token, enter, there you go. All right, so this is what we were explaining over our slide before. You could see this is my 64 base encoded token. That's my input, and my output, this is the unwrapped token that which you see with the header. On the header, you will see the KID, that which is the key ID, that which the name of the cert that which we use to sign, and the algorithm that which we use is RS-256, and type is JWT. All necessary elements. Now, these are our registered claims issued by Roku, and expiration, and not before. Not before normally set to, like, the issue time or the send time of your notification. So that shouldn't be a problem. Now, these were the private claims that we are talking about. Roku message, this is an unique key identifier that which you create, and sorry, the hash value that which we create, and this is the key that which we create, and the encoding that which we used to encode. So this is, since this is just text, I haven't set the encoding, it's just came up as Roku demo. This is what we send as the key. All right, now this is the decoded section of the text that which I sent. If you decode the message, it should match with our text. So that's the test environment. For demo sake, since I cannot run a production token here, but I do have a sample production token from one of our test channels as for demo. So I can use that here. Choose my environment as prod, enter the token. Boom. Here it's the same. You have the key. So this is something that which for you to remember. If you look, this one, this is our production cert that which we are signing. And if you have noticed, this comes as a test a public key. So when you validate, make sure you are using production, test endpoint for your public key download when you test, and you should use the production endpoint on your production token. Make sure you are doing that, else you will get signature or signature error when you try to validate the signature. Here, this is a sample payload, a sample sale payload that which we are sending from production. I do so. If you check the message, this is a 64 encoded message for this, and I am parsing it to JSON, or I am decoding it. That's why you have it. We have it here. And please note this the message type. We always, if you are receiving a notification from Roku Pay production environment, you will have this as the message type. So you capture that before you process the message. Everything else should be almost same as your test environment. So just as the last part, let's quickly jump to this routine. This is the core function that which does it. I'm using two libraries for this sample web token and JWT key service RSA. Since we are using RSA, I'm using that RSA as for the encoding. I'm using the RSA client, and this should be straightforward, very simple. I'm just making sure it's a JWT token, verifying the header, grabbing the KID, and using that KID to download the public key. Once I have get the public key, now I pass in the sign key to the verify routine on the web token. Once this successfully verifies the signature, it will return me a decoded message, and I grab the private claims and make sure we have the message type as Roku Pay push from the production. If it is from production, I will parse it to JSON as our payload and print it. If it is not from production, I'm not processing it, just for demo sake. If you are actually for your actual implementation, you may have to handle this section as also based on the message type that which you are sending out. And that concludes our demo and presentation. Thank you. Back to you, Jonathan.